Good evening, everyone. Kalla here. Welcome to my live stream. Glad you could make it today. Sorry for the slight delay there. I had everything set up, and then OBS just suddenly lost track of the video, and I had to fight it to get it back. So today we are playing more Cupid Parasite. We are currently on Shelby Snail's route, and last time there was a paparazzi and a lot of shadow puppets, and probably some other things as well. So, alright. Hello, Nick. I'm glad you're feeling better. Yeah, yesterday was good. We finished the second case for Great Ace Attorney 2, so yay. Alright, shall we get into it then? The next morning, I woke up and, surprisingly, Mr. Snail hadn't already woken up before me. That's unusual. He usually goes to sleep after me and wakes up before I do. He's what some people call a short sleeper. To be honest, I was worried he wasn't getting enough sleep, but knowing that he could sleep like this, I felt relieved. Yesterday really was tough. There was an intruder that didn't show up in the security footage. We heard them taking photos and they managed to escape. What was the intruder looking for? Was it someone who suspected that Mr. Snail might actually be single? I recalled the magazine photo caption, "President of Cupid called a fraud, devoted husband, or big fat liar." He said that he was being spied on for a while. He must have been photographed even before I came here. Maybe they were hounding him so they could write an article like, "Close coverage, no hint of a wife for devoted husband president." If they were with a magazine that did want to write an article like that, we were able to block them. But if they'd never seen him with a woman before, they could have taken photos of our silhouette show out of surprise. We couldn't let our guard down yet. Whoever it was, they were looking for proof that Mr. Snail was single. If that's their plan, then I've got something I can do. I intended to do everything in my power to hinder their plans. Thinking that, I looked out the window. The weather was really amazing, and it helped me come up with a new plan. Good. I was starting to wonder about the audio. Finally. Alright. I grinned and went to the bathroom to execute my idea. After taking care of that, I headed to the kitchen to make breakfast. What should I make? Looks like Mr. Snail still isn't up yet. Maybe he didn't get much sleep last night. Yeah, because you just kept up thinking about you, right, Lynette? After what had happened, he might have been thinking about how to update security. Yeah, I doubt that's what he was thinking about. And on top of that, hey, we get to see the CG again.
何が目的なんだ。お前にとって大切なのは一体何だ。なぜそこまで頑張れるのか教えてくれ。
Mr. Snail was really backed into a corner there. He looked so worried and seemed desperate for an answer. The phone call kind of threw things off, but what could I have said? It's worth doing, but I also want to prove my dad wrong. But if I told him that, I'd have to admit that I'm Cupid. which probably wouldn't go down well. As a realist, Mr. Snail would never believe that. So I made breakfast. I decided I'd have to come up with a convincing answer. You wonder if there's an album that saves all those nice pictures? I mean, there usually is. A visual novel usually has a CG gallery. I haven't been to look for it for this one, but they usually have them. I heard movement from the bedroom. Ah, Shelby's awake. Oh, is he awake? Breakfast was nearly done, so it was good timing. I put the scrambled eggs on a plate as I heard the door swing open. I'm guessing he found whatever she did in the bathroom earlier. Oh, good morning. Did you sleep well? Oh, that's what she did. Hang her underwear up. Mr. Snail pointed to the yard, his face bright red. I had in fact hung up my underwear there to dry. So you noticed, huh? This was the plan I'd come up with earlier. I decided to make the house look like it really did have a wife living in it. Normally, folks just use a dryer for their underwear. But some people with yards that don't face the road hang them out to dry. So it shouldn't be weird to have underwear drying in the sun when the weather is so nice. Oh, you did a lot of twist tunes there, honey. Don't worry, it's just a ruse. I hung them out there in case the person from yesterday comes back. If there is someone stalking around your place and taking photos, I'll show them your wife actually exists. So I'm presenting it in a way that makes it obvious a family lives here. A handkerchief wouldn't present what Lynette wants to present there. A handkerchief could belong to anyone. But someone hanging their underwear to dry at a house is most likely living there. What's wrong with underwear? Are you yelling at what? I don't see what the problem is. Underwear is underwear. Mr. Snail glared straight at me. The wrinkle between his brows seemed 5 times deeper than usual. Huh? Should I really not have used my underwear? Back in the share house, I had Gil wash them for me, so I didn't think it was bad or anything. I thought that Mr. Snail wouldn't care about these things either. He always seems so uninterested in anything besides work. Yeah, there's a small part of Mr. Snail that's interested in something that isn't work at the moment, and that would be you. And this is not helping him. Alright, then I'll switch it later to my handkerchiefs or stockings or something. I mean, I'm not surprised that Gil washed Lynette's underwear, given that she had no idea how to human. You probably did all her washing and the cooking and everything, right? Now, stockings might have been a choice that would make Snail go less red in the face. No, apparently stockings are bad. What's your problem with stockings? I mean, stockings aren't underwear, they're outerwear. Not even stockings? Oh well. Alright then, just the handkerchiefs. Oh, by the way, I also made breakfast. Are you hungry?
Oh, 今日はお前が作ってくれたのか。そうだ。
Mr. Snail glanced at his watch. He woke up later than usual, so maybe he doesn't have any time. Oh, if you're short on time, there are the jelly drinks you always have in the fridge.
いや、せっかくだ。
Ah.
食べていく。
Did he just turn down jelly drinks? We're winning. After thinking about it a moment longer, he confirmed his decision. I'm sure he was weighing the benefits of going to work, but he chose breakfast. Knowing that, I couldn't help but smile. Yes, progress, right? Alright, I'll bring it right over. I brought him the freshly made breakfast and sat across from him. Let's eat.
いただきます。
After taking a bite, Mr. Snail looked surprised. So, place your bets, can Lynette make edible food? The answer is yes. I guess she's lived away from Gil for long enough to learn, right? As much as Lynette is learning how to human in a way Snail is as well. Yeah. He mumbled to himself as he continued to eat. It was only a single sentence, but I couldn't stop smiling ear to ear. It felt like it was really from the heart. We ate in silence as I stole quick glances to gauge his reaction. He was focused on eating. Last night he looked so worried about everything. Yesterday he asked me why I was so focused on my work as an advisor. So maybe I'll bring that up again. No, if he's dropped it, don't bring it back up again. Lynette. I'd never seen him get so serious, so I didn't want to leave things vague or unsettled. Shelby, you asked me yesterday why I was so passionate about being an advisor. Mr. Snail's shoulders twitched suddenly. He immediately stopped eating. He leaned in to listen, showing that he really wanted to know. I continued on. It really does mean a lot to me. Ever since college, I've loved bringing people together, even if they do get annoyed at me sometimes. Even now, my friend would call me the Cupid Parasite. Well, maybe not so much these days, but still. But that's not all. Mr. Snail stared at me in silence. He was waiting for me to keep going. The other reason is to prove my father wrong.
お前の父親。
She said the name. Yes, she said the name of the game. Oh. Saying Dad in front of Mr. Snail would seem too childish. I'm not used to talking like this, so it felt off to me. Yes, my father rejected everything that I wanted to do. He said I would never be able to accomplish what I wanted. I He had a dream of learning romantic psychology and bringing people together, but all he could do was look down on me. That's why I wanted to become the #1 bridal advisor at Cupid Corp, to prove him wrong. That's also why I left home. That's the reason I don't want the company to fall apart.
そうだったのか。
I left out the fact that Dad was a god, of course. Mr. Snail sighed deeply after I'd finished.
なるほどな。それがお前が昇格に熱心になっている理由か。
Yes, but of course, my top priority is still matching people together. I want everyone to find happiness in marriage.
それはあの企画書を見れば十分わかる。
Mr. Snail smiled and glanced at my bag. Part of my project plan was sticking out of it.
あれだけ利用者のことを考えた企画書は見たことがない。見事だと思った。
Thank you.
だが、ようやく合点がいった。役員でもないのになぜここまで会社の行く末に親身になるのかとずっと疑問だったが、縁結びをする場がなくなるから、そして父親に認めさせる前になくすわけにはいかないというわけか。
That's right. So please go ahead and continue to put me to good use, sir. I hope that would be enough to convince him. He just smiled.
利用という言葉はあまり良くない。どちらかというと共闘だろう。
We're a team? A team. Oh, you may be right. Then let's join together and defeat the enemy.
頼もしいな。
He laughed. Mr. Snail laughed out loud. It was the first open laughter I'd ever heard from him. I guess even Mr. Snail can laugh like this once in a while. Laughing makes him look younger, especially since his default face is always a serious frown.
それで例の企画の方はどうだ？
Oh, I found a Words. Oh, I found a public kitchen and recruited the help of a culinary expert. I also hired a designer to come up with a print ad.
順調そうだな。
Yes, Peter is helping too, so I think it can take place as planned. I'd like to host a trial event to check the facilities and plan. I was also hoping to enlist the help of Parasite 5.
パラサイト5に？
Oh? Yes, they're not members anymore, but they did want to get married at one point. I thought they might cooperate. Ah, we're gonna see them again, are we? I couldn't guide those former members into marriage, but I still wanted to bring them on for the event. They're men seeking marriage, despite how difficult they are to deal with. They're a good source of feedback, and they can likely join on the day of the event. I'd already gotten approval from my manager. The plan was to cleverly ask about their current situations and try to bring them back into our matchmaking service. You just want another go at trying to match them, Leonard.
なるほど。それはいいかもしれないな。私も様子を見に行くとしよう。
Are you sure? But aren't you already pretty busy?
これも大切な仕事だ。後ほど詳細をメールで送ってくれ。時間を見て行けるよう調整しよ
う。Thank you. Mr. Snail will keep an eye on things. That'll be really reassuring. I want some female members, so I'll ask Clarice. Maybe I can invite Melanie since I'm her current advisor. Melanie's search has been difficult. She told me the other day she didn't have the confidence to go to the cafe. She might be willing if I told her it's just a trial run. Yeah, I'll go ahead and call her later. Oh, poor Melanie. I want to help Melanie. I wrote her name down on the list of people to invite. I suddenly heard a small snicker.
本当に仕事熱心だな。
Oh, I'm sorry. We were in the middle of breakfast, weren't we?
いや、いい。私もよくやるからな。
That's true. Snail's got no leg to stand on if he has a problem with that. Mr. Snail smiled as he pointed to his phone. He was right, of course. We both love to work. Then we end up back at it before we even realise it. But recently, all we do is talk like this even when there's no specific purpose. Maybe it's because we call each other by name now. And this morning he even woke up after me. Little by little, I think the prestige parasite side is lightening up. At this rate, he might be able to find someone to marry. As his advisor, I have to keep working hard. Lynette, it's fine. You found someone for him to marry already. Yeah, of course they're bonding over work. Two workaholics. I mentally pumped myself up once again, so I put my notepad in my bag. I then enjoyed my breakfast with Mr. Snail in a nice, relaxed atmosphere. Upon arriving at the office, I started writing my emails to the Parasite 5. I also responded to a question from Melanie and sent her the information for the trial event. On top of that, I started writing a message to Clarice. A few days later. It was the day of my 5-star challenge Cooking with Fire trial run.
久しぶり、連絡ありがとう。また会えて嬉しいよ。
Hello, Gil.
いいキッチンじゃん。女の子は
Hello, Alan.
お疲れ様です。お世話になっております。
Hello, Owen. Why are you here?
こんにちは。アンブロシアやネクタルが作れるって聞いたんだけど、本当？
Hello, Raoul. I don't think we're making that today. Welcome. Come right this way. The Parasite 5 had all come. I handed them their aprons and cooking instructions, then led them to the kitchen. Wait, the Parasite 5 had all come? I didn't see Ryuki. Melanie had arrived first. She jumped in surprise and hid in the counter. Melanie is really scared. But the whole point of this project is to help Shy members have fun. So I came up with ways to help them communicate naturally.
あれ？パラサイト5ってもう一人ぐらいいなかった？
Exactly, Clarice. Oh, yeah. Ryuki, right? He didn't respond to my email, so maybe he's not coming.
まあいいかもね。女子の方が少ないし。
Yeah, but I did invite a few others too.
素敵なキッチンね。今日はよろしく頼むわ。かわいいキューピッドさん。
Yeah, Catherine is back. I'm still suspicious that she's a goddess. Like Aphrodite. Wait, that's the... No, that's the Greek one. Venus. Because we're doing Roman, right? I think.
何あのケバい人。
Well, she used to have a different advisor. but I took over for her after the Parasite 5 quit.
あら、あなたは
I see, so Catherine got her wish after the Parasite 5 left it. Yeah, I'm certain that Venus is the Roman version, I just couldn't remember which side we were on in terms of whether we were doing Greek or Roman in this, and I couldn't remember. We're doing Roman, right? Cupid's Roman, right? Yeah. I think. I'm not certain.
はじめまして、キューピッドコーポレーション開発部でシステム開発を担当しておりますクラリス・ティアと申します。
Clarice introduced herself curtly and quickly stood behind me as if to hide from Catherine. What's wrong, Clarice?
私あの人苦手。なんか見透かされる感じする。
You know, I'm mostly more familiar with the Greek names, I think. Like, some of the Roman equivalents I know pretty well, like the ones that are used for the planets, I guess. Huh? I've never seen Clarice act this shy before. She normally gets along with pretty much everyone. But this is all part of matchmaking. I have to work hard so that people who aren't compatible can still enjoy the event. Let's have all the participants gather around. Do you all have your checklists?
はい。
バッチリ持ったぞ。
Ah, Peter, you're here too, huh? Peter? When did you get here?
最初からいたぞ。今日がプレと聞いていたからな。手伝いに来た。
But if you're here and Owen's here, then who's helping Shelby run the company? Peter puffed out his chest, looking proud of himself.
ピーターもいるの？私あの人も苦手なんだけど。帰ろっかな。
So I think what we've established from this exchange is that Clarice doesn't get along with gods that aren't our Cupid here. Wait! Now we already have too few women! That'll ruin the balance even more!
でも別に私出会いとかいらないし。
じゃあ俺と二人で外に行く？いい夢見させてあげるけど。
Yeah, she doesn't like Alan either, and Alan's not human, right? Alan, stop hitting on everyone! For now, everyone check the checklist for the dish you're going to cook.
そういえば知ってる？5000年近く昔の工房を使ってパン作った人がいるんだって。遺跡から発掘された陶器から酵母を採取したらしくて。
Raoul, I've missed you! And your tangents.
俺もそういう料理がしてみたいなって思ったんだ。ほら、古代は神と人間が一緒に暮らしていたとも言われてるでしょ。つまりそれは神も食べ。ねえ、ちょっとこれ説明してほしいんだけど、いいかな？
Wow, Killer's shouting with so much energy. He seems to be really motivated. It's always easier to make progress if there's even one person who's motivated. Feeling relieved, I started to explain how I expected the event to progress. I mean, he's motivated to talk to you, but... I guess that's some kind of motivation. After getting everyone to wash their hands, called over the culinary expert to start the cooking.
ほらほら皆さん急いで。 火が通ってるわよ。
え、嘘？これまだ生じゃない？
その食材は色が変わらないのよ。難易度星5。舐めないことね。
An ingredient that doesn't change color when it's cooked. Ooh, yeah, I can see how that would be difficult.
ああ、アワハニ。今君恋してない？前よりもずっと綺麗になって見えるけど。
Alan? Less talking, more cooking. Watch your fingers or you'll cut yourself. And if you're gonna flirt, flirt with the other girls.
本当にワイン入れていいのかな。アンブロシアってもっと固形のイメージが。
Does it say oyster on the table? Where are we looking? I'm not sure where we're looking. Oh, or do you mean the on the wall? Yes, because it says whatever that is, la table, right? I don't know what that word is.
卵落としちゃった。ごめんなさいね。私、箸より重いものを持ったことがなくて。
Oh dear, I don't think anyone's buying that, Catherine.
あら、このリンゴ、なんだか黄金色に見えるわね。懐かしいわ。リンゴは独り占めにするに越したことないのよ。半分に切るなんてもったいない。
That apple looks golden, does it? Wonder why you're so interested in golden apples, lady. And hello now, hello April.
すみません。これ押さえててもらえますか？
はい、私でよければ。
Everyone was making a lot of promotion during my 5-star challenge, Cooking with Fire challenge. It's actually going well. Owen and Melanie are getting along much better than I expected. Yes, let's continue with that ship. We like that ship. Owen is the earnest type, so Melanie shouldn't have a hard time talking to him. I should check to see if Owen is registered as a member. I thought about that as I guided everyone along through their recipes. After about an hour, the cooking was finally done. Are we finished? I think we are. Yeah, we're definitely done. I saw completed dishes on the tabletop. Some looked delicious, while others would make me hesitate.
ちょっとこの料理作ったの誰ですか？レシピにないものじゃない。
あ、ごめんなさい。デザートが欲しいなと思って小麦粉が少し余ってたから。
Gil's going for extra credit.
それとこれは何？君の飲み物使えてちょうだい。
ネクタルだよ。でもこのレシピだと違う気がしたから追加でサルサセージンソース入れたんだ。
Raoul is doing I don't know what. Please don't add weird stuff to the drinks. And what is that sauce anyway?
まあいいわ。他の料理はちゃんと完成しているもの。さあ、実食までが料理よ。皆さん、手を洗ったら席についてちょうだい。
The culinary expert clapped his hands and guided everyone to the right place. Just then, I heard the door open. Who could it be? Is it Mr. Snail? It's
ちゃんと料
Ryuki!
理できてんじゃん。
Ryuki, you're too late! We've already finished cooking! Ryuki-kun, you made it!
ここうちの店の近くだし、メールで和食作るって書いてあったから。
Ah, they were making Japanese food, were they? Well, I'm glad you're here. That's right. Would you like to sample our Japanese cuisine? Ah, yes. Get someone who probably knows what it's supposed to taste like to taste it.
じゃーん、ヤマタノオロチの尻尾キュロスです。
Raoul!
は？
Oh, did you just come up with that name on the spot?
これ和食でしょ。それで日本の神って言ったらやっぱり有名なのはヤマタノオロチかなって思って。
You just thought of the first mythological Japanese thing you could think of, huh?
最終的に殺されるけどね。
ロマンだよね。
調子はどうだ？
Ah, now Snail's here. I heard the door open again and Mr. Snail strolled in. Oh, Mr. Snail! Thank you for coming. We just finished cooking. Would you like to join us?
いいのか？
ええ、たくさんあるから。一人や二人増えたところで困らないわ。困るのはこの変な飲み物の処理だけ。
Just let Raoul drink his weird drink. He made it. He should drink it.
俺が飲むよ。
You see? He says he'll drink it. It's fine. Your Rachel will get mad at me, so no.
いいからもう食べない？冷めちゃうわ。
Oh, right. Everyone, let's dig in. At my urging, they picked up their utensils and started eating.
わあ、おいしい。
そちらのサラダも美味しいですよ。取りましょうか。
大丈夫です。自分でできます。
私の方の司会ですから。
That was the exchange where no one got a bit of salad from Melanie. I think those two are really quite compatible. My Cupidly habits took over as I eagerly observed them.
へえ、このグラタンも美味しい。どれも変わった料理でどうなのって思ったけど、意外といけるわね。
アンブロシアがこんな味だなんて思わなかったけど。
ねえ、さっきから気になってたんだけど、そのアンブロシアってこのレシピ表にあるベーコンの燻製のことで合ってる？
You're calling smoked bacon ambrosia. Bro.
っていうか、こんなのが難易度星5なわけ？普通のうどんじゃん。
それをただのうどんとは思わない方がいい。なんといってもこの私が小麦から生地を作ったうどんだからな。
Udon with the noodles made from scratch with homemade flour. That's quite impressive, Peter.
まあ実際に切ったのはラブクラフトさんですが。
均一な形にするのって結構難しいよね。
Oh, I'm glad Melanie had fun. Even in the midst of everyone enjoying themselves, I heard her faint voice admitting that she was having fun. I'm so glad Melanie enjoyed it. I mean, it's a good thing Melanie enjoyed it because she's the only normal member here. I was worried about what would happen at first, but it seems like people are able to get along through the power of cooking. I can definitely carry this over to the actual event. I was thinking about that as I reached for a bit of the baked gratin. Ow! Hot! I carelessly touched the hot plate that the gratin was on. A sharp pain shot through me and my mind went blank. What the heck is so hot? Ooh. This wasn't the kind of pain you got from tripping or bumping into something. I'd never experienced anything like it. Oh, Lynette's never burnt herself before, huh? I didn't know what to do and just started turning left and right. Someone grabbed my arm from the side. I'm hoping for Snail.
バカ、何してるんだ。早く冷やせ。
Good job, Snail. Mr. Snail grabbed my arm, forced me to stand up and dragged me to the sink. He turned on the tap and put my hand under the running water.
こういう時は迅速に冷やすのが普通だろう。何をやっているんだ。
Yes, everybody knows you need to cool off a burn, except for people who weren't raised human. And I've never done this before. I'm sorry. I've never felt something this hot before. Is this what it feels like to get burned?
当然だ。なんだお前、やけどしたことないのか。
No, she hasn't. I haven't. This genuinely was my first experience. I nodded and Mr. Snail sighed.
運のいいやつだな。今まで料理してて何ともなかったのか。
Yeah, she's pretty lucky she's never burnt herself before when cooking. Because we know she does cook. Right. Back in college, Gil did all the cooking. And when I started working, Clarice and I took turns. So I've only really cooked for a little over a year. And yet she was able to make breakfast that Snail said was delicious. So Lynette's clearly a good cook. I guess I really was lucky it had never happened before. By sheer chance today was the first time.
後になったらどうするんだ。やけど跡はなかなか消えないんだぞ。
Oh, really? I'm sorry, I really didn't know. We all know what Snail usually eats, so you might just have just been saying it, huh? But we also know that Snail is capable of cooking good-tasting food himself, so...
やけどに大切なのは迅速な対応。流水でよく冷やすことだ。
I understand, but I think it's starting to cool down. Yes, you have to keep it under there for longer than that, Lynette.
まだダメだ。
We're waiting for it has completely cooled down. We're not waiting for it starting. We're waiting for it to be completely. He held my wrist firmly to keep my hand under the cooling water. He doesn't have to grip so hard, I'm not going anywhere. And since I was freaking out earlier, he must have thought he had to keep a close eye on me. I've completely lost his trust. No, it's not that you've lost his trust. He's just worried about you. And the fact that you don't know what to do with the burn. I guess it's my fault for not having any clue about burns. The water continued to splash away on my hand. The icy water was starting to make my hand numb, but I stayed put under Mr. Snail's strong grasp. After a while, he finally let go.
よかった。後にはならなそうだな。
Right, thank you.
いや、当然のことをしたまでだ。無事な、
Has he only just noticed he was holding her hand? Is that what that trailing off is? Or is everyone staring? Mr. Snail suddenly froze up. I turned around and everyone was staring at us. Okay, everyone was staring. Gil sounds like he's about to cry.
仲いいね二人とも。
何？二人とも付き合ってるの？
Clarice! Clarice, this dude's married after all, remember? What?
バカなことを言うな。まさかそんなことあるわけない。
Snail, you're less than convincing blushing like that.
そうですよ。社長には愛妻がいますから。
二人が付き合っているなら俺としては嬉しいんだけどな。
Alan! I really wish you wouldn't lick your lips when you say stuff like that. Ew! Ew! Gross! Gross. Alan, what?
そっか、愛妻か。そうだよな。付き合ってるわけないよな。
You're just like, I will clutch at that lifeline.
やけどって結構侮れないから、ちゃんと軟膏も塗っておきなよ。
Ryuki is just all business, like skincare. Yeah, thanks. I've been talking to him the way I'd gotten used to doing, but this time it was in front of a crowd. Oh, because they were talking all friendly like, huh? So desperate to seem like his wife, I guess I gave the impression that we were actually close. You are close, though! And I guess it's good if they think we're dating, since that was the goal in the first place. Problem being, I'd let it come out in a situation that wasn't a business dinner. I glanced over and saw Mr. Snail looking at his phone with a deep frown. It seemed as if he was writing a work email, but I'd been around him long enough to know that it was just his way of avoiding the situation. Retreat into work. I'm starting to know what Mr. Snail is actually thinking. But I'm glad the burn wasn't serious. I should thank Mr. Snail for taking care of it that quickly. The numbness was still there when I touched my other hand, and reminded me again of the searing heat from before. It's been 6 years since I came to the human realm, but there are still lots of things I haven't experienced yet. I'm lucky to be surrounded by people willing to teach me. Gil, Clarice, all of the Parasite 5, and Mr. Snail, of course. I mean, technically he's part of the Parasite 5, but sure. Everyone around me has taught me so many things. I mean, admittedly, Gil is in there as well, so... Ever since I started living with Mr. Snail, I've learned a whole new set of values. What to do when a man and a woman live together. This is an important experience to have in order to do my matchmaking.
いいねと。ほら、これでちゃんと冷やして。
Just then, Gil burst in with a mountain of ice packs. I don't think we need a mountain of ice packs, but... I don't need that many.
ダメだよ、ちゃんと冷やさなきゃ。
I don't know if we need a mountain of ice packs. We run it under the tap until it's cold. I don't think we need ice, right? Oh, Gil, you always take things to the extreme. What's that, Mr. Snail? Is that jealousy I see? Speaking of which, back when we were roommates, Gil always made a huge fuss whenever I got hurt. It was fun back then. I thought about those good times as I applied the packs that Gil had brought. That concluded the trial for my 5-star challenge Cooking with Fire event. All that was left was to present the project to the world at large. That same night, I found myself in Mr. Snail's car. After the event, I returned to the office to do more work. Waiting at the elevator to go home, I ran into Mr. Snail. I'm sorry for having you drive me home while you're still working.
いや、私に付き合って家が遠くなったんだ。たまにはこれぐらい協力させてくれ。
I really want to know if people see these two going to or from work together. Mr. Snail is so earnest. He may be a workaholic, but he never forgets to be considerate like this.
それより、プレは大成功だったな。実際の発表日が楽しみだ。
Thank you. I was glad to see that Melanie enjoyed it. Right? They must see them in the same car together, surely. or like leaving the office together and walking together to where his car is, right?
お前は本当にうちの会員を大切に思ってくれているんだな。
His voice was soft and kind. I could tell thinking about that really did make him happy. Possibly because he's so passionate about work, Mr. Snail notices more than others when someone puts in the effort. He notices other employees often and always recognises them. I have nothing but respect for him. I can tell that he cares about our members too, since I play the role of his wife. In our business dinners, I always hear about what a kind husband and great all-around person he is. Our dinners are usually only with major presidents who are much older. They seem to treat him like he's their son. A prestige parasite, he's a workaholic that's fixed on his status, but he doesn't think that the ends justify the means. He's focused on his work and hard on himself. He's direct and considerate of others. He's the definition of a moral man of character. If it weren't for his secret, he could have easily gotten married. Unfortunately, none of the female members I manage are a good fit for him. Despite my efforts, there are still such things as luck and fate. I don't need to look down from Celestia to see that. But that's why I think matchmaking is so interesting. I touched my necklace and gazed out of the car window at the night sky. I hope Mr. Snail can find his wife soon. You don't need to worry about that, he's found his wife already. I'd even considered using my Cupid's bow as a last resort. A few minutes later, the car arrived in front of the house.
着いたぞ。
Thank you very much. I undid my seatbelt and turned to Mr. Snail, who was sitting motionless. Are you going to head back to work now?
そうだな。そのつもりだ。
As usual, he's always about work. But I enjoy working just as much, so I couldn't really say anything. You know, Shelby, we've never had dinner together at home, just the two of us. We talked about it before, but ultimately his work made it impossible. I put on the attitude of a sulking wife, and he seemed to stumble over his words, unsure what to say.
それは。
If you're always at work, they'll find out you're not as devoted as you say. Sorry, I'm just teasing you. gave him a sidelong glance and grinned at him. His reply was simply to frown once again.
仕事があるんだ。仕方ないだろう。
I don't see why Snail can't work from home. Right? I know, I love my work too, you know. When you're really on a roll, it can be too much of a hassle to even stop and eat.
ああ。簡易的な食事でも十分に血糖値は上がる。それで仕事に支障も出ないからな。
Jelly drinks aren't food! Right. You know that feeling where he doesn't want to spend time eating. I also know that feeling of wanting to get back to the office. But eating dinner alone is no fun, and making dinner for the sake of someone can be a lot of fun. I guess I'd let my honest feelings slip out. Food tastes better when you make it and enjoy it together. That's what made me come up with the cooking event in the first place. Of course, it can also be the source of fights, so some caution is definitely required. I know it's too sudden to do it today, but if you could find the right time, would you like to eat dinner together? I looked at Mr. Snail sitting in the driver's seat, and he finally looked back at me. His eyes appeared different from normal. It was as if he was serious and hesitant at the same time. There was even a slight pain in his eyes. The streetlights appeared to make them waver. After a moment, he turned off the engine. He's gonna eat with us tonight!
そうだな。たまには家で夕飯を食べるか。
Do you mean it?
ああ。
He laughed and undid his seatbelt. Apparently that once in a while meant tonight. For some reason, it made me really happy. Then you'll let me make you dinner tonight?
いや、私が作ろう。またやけどをされてはたまらないからな。
It's like, nope, you're injured. I'm cooking. Yeah. That's right. Today was also the day you'd seen me get burned for the first time. Then how about we make it together? You weren't there for the actual cooking today, after all.
わかった。先ほどのやけどのところは痛まないか？
Not at all. Thanks to you, it doesn't hurt one bit.
ならよかった。
We got out of the car and headed inside. I felt like saying "Home Sweet Home." It really did feel like this was my home now. That feeling is probably what made me want to eat together. It was, yeah. Let's try that line again. That feeling is probably what made me want to eat together with him. Lost in thought, I followed Mr. Snail into the house. After that, we made dinner together. We took our time and also enjoyed dinner in a relaxed mood. This was different from breakfast and the business meals. This was like proper alone time that we got to have together. The orange hue of the lights shone gently onto the food. The freshly made dinner was still hot. We talked about unimportant topics as we ate dinner.
たまにはこういうのも悪くないな。
Right! Actually enjoying a meal? Shall we? Maybe we should do this more often. Maybe every single day. I told you so. Eating dinner at home can be very relaxing.
ああ、外で食べるのとはだいぶ違う。知らなかったな。
Right? Eventually, one of them's going to realise that they're basically dating already. Right? Well, they're basically already married, right? He seemed to be completely relaxed as he sipped his post-meal coffee. Are you sure you don't want anything stronger?
いや、いい。この後運転するからな。
Oh, he's going to go back to the office after this, huh? Apparently he still intended to head back to the office. Speaking of which, Shelby, I've rarely ever seen you drink. Even at business dinners you only have a few sips. They're clearly just pretending and nobody at all will get confused by that. I mean, the first person to actually realise their feelings is going to basically go, but this is just pretend. There's no way they have feelings for me as well, right? Do you not like alcohol?
いや、そんなことはない。たまに一人で飲むしな。
Oh, really? Even then, I've never seen you drink. I mean, he clearly does drink alcohol sometimes. Look at what's in the cupboards over there. There's literally wine.
飲むのは大抵バーでだ。家では飲まない。
What's that wine for then? And all the wine glasses? Is that just for business dinners? But then again, you weren't doing business dinners before this. Oh wait, he also wasn't living here before this. Huh. I guess it's decoration then, the wine. So that's why. I imagined Mr. Snail drinking alone at a dark bar, and it definitely fit his image. Well, if you ever need some company, you can always call me. Ah yes, because that will do great for his image as a devoted husband, drinking at a bar with a lady, right?
ありがとう。覚えておく。
Despite his response, I doubted he would ever actually call me. He probably likes drinking alone because it's easier. But it sounds like he does relax when he's by himself. I thought maybe he didn't drink because it interfered with his work or something. He doesn't spend any time eating after all. I mean, he doesn't tend to eat proper food. Would you get drunker faster if you were just consuming like jelly drinks and protein bars? Because there's not. I don't know. Because I know eating helps, right? But he does know how to relax in his own way. Knowing that brought a smile to my face. He's also been getting more sleep than usual lately. That's reassuring too. Before, he averaged maybe 3 hours of sleep a night. But recently I've caught him sleeping for up to 6 whole hours. Wow, he's finally sleeping the amount of time he needs to minimum as a human. Yay! 3 hours of sleep a night is way, way, way too little. I'm not sure how he survives. Well, survived. Because I live with him, he might be matching my daily life rhythm to an extent. Speaking of which, the rhythm when living with Gil and Clarice, and then just with Clarice, was pretty different. get influenced by others surprisingly easily. I'd be really happy if Mr. Snail can enjoy his time off a bit more now I'm here. Survived on the miracle power of jelly drinks. Jelly drinks and coffee. Don't forget the coffee. And again, we haven't gotten to the point of actually having any time off to enjoy yet. He started enjoying his meals more and sleeping a bit longer. Just that is a huge change for him.
だが、こうして食事をするとやはり眠くなるな。仕事には支障が出そうだ。
Well, why don't you take a nap? Oh, would you like to go sleep? I can tuck you in. Why are you offering to tuck him in? He's not a child.
まったく、お前は。
He made a wry smile as he deflected my little joke. I was just glad we were able to joke around like that now. I felt like I'd be able to play the role of his wife even better going forward.
ごちそうさま。では、そろそろ戻るか。
You know, that's the point. How long did she tell Clarice she was going to be gone? Like, did she tell her at all? Mr. Snail looked at his watch and stood up. Let me walk you to the door. I grabbed the jackets he'd taken off when we got home, then quickly made my way over to him. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, Shelby. Ah, blushing. I handed him his jacket and saw him off like a proper wife. He looked a bit embarrassed as he put the jacket on.
ありがとう。では、行ってくる。
Just a second. Let me fix your tie. It must have gone crooked when he put his jacket on. I reached out to fix it. There, all better. I let go and he suddenly grabbed my wrist. Ooh. She seems more like Snail's mum than wife at this point. Well, she is significantly older than him after all. Mr. Snail was staring at me for some reason. Whatever he was thinking, his pale eyes didn't reveal a thing. They were a cool blue, like ice or snow. His hand on my wrist was just as cold. Same hands that took care of my burn, the rough hands of a man. His lips quivered a bit as if he was about to say something. But he didn't. He just let go and turned away from me.
1時には帰るようにする。
Sure. Have a nice evening. What were you gonna say, Shelby? He opened the door and walked out. I heard his car drive off. I looked down at my hand. It was cold when he grabbed me, but for some reason, it now felt hot. Yes, Ryuki would definitely disagree with rough hands. He'd be like, you need to moisturize. Use the hand cream. And now into Shelby's point of view. I returned to my office and sat in my chair. I took off my jackets and leaned back. It felt like I was running on empty. She handed me my jacket and fixed my tie. It was like she really was my wife. I almost moved in for a kiss at that point. I I remembered at the last moment that this was just part of the job. He was going for a goodbye kiss. Aww. I managed to stop myself, but it felt too awkward after that. This is only a job. She's doing it perfectly because it's her duty. And I thought I understood that. But to me, it seemed like she really enjoyed our meal together. You'd unironically listen to the soundtrack of this game. It's great, isn't it? I think the limited edition I got came with a soundtrack CD. So I can just sit and listen to it. Actually, I don't remember if this was one of the ones that came with a soundtrack CD or not. I'll have to look at it. I'll have to go find it at some point. But it's so good. Particularly, I like these songs with the lyrics.
それですっかり気持ちが緩んだんだ。
That's why I grabbed her hand without thinking. But that's also what caused me to come to my senses. I didn't think I would ever desire someone like that.
できればこんな気持ちは知りたくなかったかもしれないな。
Well, whoever was like, Shelby's going to acknowledge his feelings first, you were right. That was all of you, wasn't it? Until now, even on my off hours, everything I did affected my work. Eating was just replenishing energy. Business meals were just places to socialize with clients. But she brought colour into my life. She enjoyed eating with me, and the time we spent together was so relaxing. I've never had such a warm sensation at a dinner table. We do eat breakfast together, so I thought it wouldn't be much different. But it was. In the morning, we're both rushing to get ready for work. But a meal at the end of the day is completely different. I never thought it would be something I would be so reluctant to step away from.
参ったな。
In the car, Lynette sulked a bit, saying she wanted to eat together. But then she saw me off to work with a smile. Have a nice evening. The joy I felt hearing someone say that, with such trust in their eyes, is completely new to me. It's like that act gave me a reason to come into work. Her smile gives me the energy to push even further. To be honest, I've never even thought that this was the life I wanted. I didn't desire it, so I didn't know anything about it. But now that I do, I don't want to lose it. How can I continue this life? All I can think about now is how to keep this. How about making it a 2-year contract or increase her pay? How about actually marrying her? That would be the easy answer.
違う、そういうことじゃないだろ。
I keep thinking about this in terms of a business owner. I shake my head to rid myself of these thoughts. The rules of business don't always apply to human interaction. I've failed those things so many times before now. I also feel guilty for only thinking about how this is affecting me.
そもそも彼女はどう思っているんだろうな。
She shook my hand with a smile, saying she's willing to fight alongside me. I think of that smile again now. She's a dependable partner, but I can't help but wonder if she's actually enjoying this life. She plays the role of my wife, but does she find it draining? I want to ask, but I'm afraid to find out the answer. I've tried to be careful to ensure that if she does find someone she wants to date or marry, that choice is open to her. But it's too late now. I don't want to lose this life.
彼女を拘束しすぎてはならないと ずっと思っていたはずなんだがな。
I thought this would just be an interim solution until I really get married. But I can't do it anymore.
どうしてくれるんだ。
Tell her you love her! You've got to tell her you love her. I'd kept this lifestyle far away from me specifically because I didn't want to worry about it like this.
恋愛感情ほど非合理的なものはない。無駄なことはしたくない。疲れるだけだ。
Now we're all going with something very similar to what Shelby's just thinking now. Stupid feeling is getting in the way of logic. But this fixation won't go away. All of my principles seem to be crumbling away.
違う。これは経営者として優秀な社員を失いたくないと思っているだけだ。
No, 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 Snail, no rationalizing this away. You're in love. We know this. You know this. With my eyes closed, I try to convince myself of that. But I know I'm just lying to myself about these budding emotions. Okay, he's acknowledging it. Either way, it's doomed to fail. Yes, defense mechanism. Oh, back to the suspicious people.
独身の証拠である写真が全然撮れないじゃないか。毎日ラブラブな写真が撮れるばかり。MQ、本当にあやつは独身なのか？
ええ、確かに。ですが、今は彼に協力者がいるようですね。
A co-conspirator.
なんて厄介な。セカオとかいうやつも邪魔だし、独身の証拠探しはもうやめだ。
Yeah, it does look a bit like Owen, but I don't want to think that it's Owen, you know?
だが私の力でお前が見つからなかったのだけは良かったとしよう。おかげで次なる作戦を進められることになったのだからな。次の計画を始動させれば確実に息の根を止められるはずだ。これで守備はどうなっている？
Alright, what are they going to try doing now instead of trying to find the proof that he's single, huh?
はい。例の件ですが、新たな情報を入手いたしました。これで完全にうちが先に進められるでしょう。
Oh?
おお、でかしたぞ MQ。見ておれキューピッドコーポレーション。今度こそ完璧に叩き潰してやる。
You think it's Chia? But I think Chia's pizza. That doesn't look like pizza. I mean, I could be wrong about Chi being pizza. The wedding of Rome and Julie. The next morning. I woke up and headed to the living room, but Mr. Snail wasn't there. Huh? There was a note on the table. I took a look and it said, "Sorry, but I'm heading out early today." Mr. Snail is so proper, leaving a note and all. He could have just texted me. I was happy to get a handwritten note though. In that case, I'll just have a nice simple breakfast today. I got some cereal and milk and headed to the table. I turned on the TV for the first time in a while. Oh dear. We're about to see some horrible news about Cupid Cart, right? I mean, I think it's more that he's giving her a note because these days they have breakfast together every day. Whereas before, they didn't, right? I didn't know if I should turn it on when I was with Mr. Snail, so I haven't been watching it recently.
And so, Romajuli Wedding is planning a marriage hunting event as a new service using cooking.
Oh no! So Rome and Julie is the other wedding company, huh? And they're stealing our idea! Rome and Julie wedding? I've never heard of a company by that name, so I focused on the screen. What I saw almost made me drop my cereal. What's going on here? I put down the pole and jumped up in front of the TV.
Here is Main Street and 2nd Avenue, where the newly opened dating agency, Romajuli Wedding, is located.
Main and 2nd, huh?
Romajuli Wedding is becoming a hot topic, starting with its first year free membership, and more for new members, along with other new services.
First year free, huh?
For more about their new services,
I really hope I really hope it's not him. Please don't let it be Owen. No matter how many times I read them, I don't understand the words on the screen. Or more like I don't want to understand. Just right there in bold letters it said, 5-star challenge, cooking with fire. Curses. I went to the office and the company was in an uproar about the news.
ちょっとこれどうすんのよ。今度やるうちの新プランと全く同じ名前じゃない。せっかくお客さんにおすすめする文言を覚えたのに中止？それとも結構？
About that. What should I do? I've been thinking about it all morning. I can't announce it as is anymore. Everything about it is the exact same plan. They'll just say that we stole their idea. But the players are done and we finalised the menu too, and I already arranged for the ingredients and kitchen. What should I do? All the effort I put into preparing everything seems totally wasted. I needed to think. I was still in shock, so I couldn't get my thoughts together.
っていうか、あっちの方が先にサービス開始するのよね。それってもしかして。
Industrial espionage, that's what it is.
ああ、そっか。あなた、ロミジュリウェディングからアイディアパクったんだ。だから出来良かったのね。
Oh, piss off, just because you're jealous. Huh? I would never do that! I turned to argue and saw a look of contempt from the planning department woman from earlier. Sorry, from before.
最初から変だと思ってたのよ。企画部の人間でもないのに企画書が通るだなんて。そういえば結構いい企画だったよね。企画したいなんて話聞いたことなかったからびっくりしたんだけど。
Snail knows it was all my own work.
企画の希望もなかったような人があんないい企画すぐに作れるはずないわ。きっとアイディアを盗用したのよ。
Everyone nearby started to look at me with suspicion. Did she really steal it? Maybe she's been cheating her way to the top all along. She's cute enough, she could definitely have been flirting with the boss all this time. No, she's only been flirting with the boss recently. I could hear them thinking all of those things. I could feel a cold hand gripping my heart. I felt like I was suffocating. I started to feel dizzy, and the sounds around me started to fade. I've never cheated or stolen anything. I didn't succeed by sucking out to my boss. I just wanted our members to be happy. I came up with it all myself.
パクリでズルしてコンペに勝つとか最低。どうせ業績1位なのも何か不正でもしたんでしょ。
It's true, she is cute. No,
じゃあなんでロミジュリウェディングの方が先にサービス開始してるのよ。あっちが先に思いついたからでしょ。
What? That lady just has a doubt for Lynette. That's why she's jumped to this conclusion and not the other obvious conclusion, which is industrial espionage. Which, I mean, it would be either way, but you know.
パクった方が後になるに決まってるじゃない。あなたが彼らのアイディアを取ったのよ。
こいつはそんな卑怯なことを
Snail
す
to
る
the
やつではない。
rescue!
それぐらい同期ならわかるだろ
Love you, Snail. Huh? Looked towards the familiar voice. Mr. Snail was by my side after hearing all the commotion.
社長。
Yeah, we need to get HR involved on this lady.
彼女の仕事ぶりを見ていれば、それがズルや不正でないことはわかるはずだ。共に仕事をしているお前たちなら、なおさらだろう。
Snail. He defended me, and he also recognized my work. My eyes felt hot. I wanted to cry, but I made two tight fists and held back those tears. Now was not the time for that.
それより社長、ロミジュリウェディングの新プランとうちのが被った件はどうされるんですか？
そうだな。使えるところは利用して、新プランとして発表するしかあるまい。先日、プレの開催を見てきたが、よくできていた。あれをそのまま
Yeah,
発表でき
we
ないのは
just need to
残念だ
rearrange
が、
it.
いくらでもやりようはあるはずだ。
Tweak it a bit.
準備はどこまで進んでいる？
Oh, the ingredients have been ordered, the homepage is done, and we just submitted the final flyer design. The flyer was submitted last night, so they could still be checking the data. They might be able to stop the print if I call them.
そうか。なら今すぐ印刷を止める連絡をしてくれ。
Okay. I nodded and quickly went to call the printer. I explained the situation, and fortunately they hadn't started printing yet, so they were able to pause the process. I mean, considering this, how early you tend to start in the morning, Lynette, I'm not surprised that the printers haven't started yet. We were able to stop the print.
そうか、よかった。彼女には引き続き企画の練り直しをしてもらう。代わりに皆、業務の協力をしてやってくれ。これは我が社の15周年記念の新商品でもある。社員全員で作り上げた企画といっても過言ではない。どうか力を合わせて乗り越えてほしい。
Got your orders directly from the boss. You gotta work with me now. Mr. Snail looked into each employee's face one by one. Everyone tensed up at his gaze. Mr. Snail is amazing. He was able to change the atmosphere here instantly. No one looks dissatisfied. Now is not the time to worry about what's past. Everyone knows we have to join together and move forward.
それと、すまないが君、ロミジュリウェディングについて調べておいてくれないか。
え？なんで企画部の私が？
実はいくつか先方に企画を盗用されたのではないかと疑惑が一部ですでに出ているそうなんだ。
Roman Julie Wedding has been stealing a lot of stuff, haven't they? That doesn't surprise me.
君の立てた企画、婚活ツアーバックパッカー編と酷似した新商品が先方から出るという噂だ。
社長、私が立てた企画を知っているんですか？
当然だ。我が社の社員が立てた企画は 全てに目を通している。とにかくそういうわけでロミジュリーウェディングについて調べてもらいたい。企画部の君にこそ頼みたい仕事だ。
わかりました。
Like, all of you are going to help Lynette, except for you, because you're going to look into this.
それと最近我が社に向けた根拠のない風評被害も増えた。現在そちらについても調査を頼んでいる。しかし他社がどうであれ我が社の理念は変わらない。運命的な出会いから結婚式、会員様を君たちの手で幸せに導いてもらいたい。
Yes, sir.
こうした逆境が訪れることはまだあるだろう。だがそんな時こそ皆に団結してもらいたい。頼んだぞ。
はい。
After hearing Mr. Snail's words, everyone gets back to work. Even the colleague that was glaring at me earlier. Mr. Snail is amazing. He looks at every single one of us and is good at raising motivation. Mr. Snail is a workaholic, the prestige parasite, but there are things only he can do. Even as the prestige parasite, he still cares about his work as president. He cherishes this company. That's why I can't deny him of that title.
では私は戻る。みんな引き続き頼んだ。お前には話がある。ついてこい。
Yes. He said that in a serious tone, so that made me stand up straight. I was wondering if he was going to get mad at me as I followed him. No, he's going to comfort you.
それで新商品の件だが。
Right.
そんな泣きそうな顔するな。私も企画の練り直しは一緒に考える。だから大丈夫だ。
Oh no, he brought her up here and said, look, I will help you fix this. So let's do it together. President. He called me with such a stern voice, but he shows me a gentle gaze like he does at home. For the first time, I realized he couldn't show any kindness in front of everyone. My eyes water out of gratitude.
おい。
Sorry. I shouldn't be crying yet. I have to keep at it. The moment we're alone, I felt so relieved that I couldn't hold the tears back anymore. I really was scared earlier. Everyone suspected me of copying that idea, and I thought I would lose their trust. I wouldn't be able to stay at Cupid Court. I was dumbfounded because they doubted my efforts until today. I didn't work hard just for some recognition, but I didn't think they would doubt my achievements as cheating. But Mr. Snail came to my aid. He didn't doubt me and even defended me. I felt so relieved then. I'll do my best to revamp the plan. Thank you so much for defending me earlier. I bow and turn around to return to my duties, but he grabbed my arm from behind.
そう急ぐな。話があると言っただろ。
He pulled my arm and held my head in his chest. Aww, he's gonna let her cry into his chest. Or just hug her, I don't know.
それにあんな奴らに泣き顔を見せるな。
Yep.
泣きたいならここで泣け。
Aww. That's sweet. But there's no time to cry.
あんなことがあったんだ。我慢するより泣いた方がきっといい。お前があんな言われもない言葉を投げかけられるとは思ってもみなかった。正直私もショックだった。だからしばらくここにいろ。あんな話をされた後では戻りづらいだろう。
But I couldn't continue from there. Tears started to flow, and I gripped tightly at the hem of his suit. President, thank you for coming for me.
ああ、私もあの場にいられてよかった。
Mr. Snail hesitantly patted me on the head. The gentle way he did that caused more tears to flow.
お前は頑張り屋だからな。私から見ればありがたいことだが、同僚からは確かに妬まれることも多いんだろう。出る杭は打たれるというやつだ。だがそれはお前のせいではない。人のつまらない習性のせいだ。私はお前のような社員が我が社にいてくれてよかったと本当に思っている。だからお前には今まで通りでいてもらいたい。
You'd also be lucky to have her as your wife.
お前は変わるな。そのままでいてくれ。
I couldn't hold back any longer. Mr. Snail's warmth caused me to cry out loud. I tried so hard, but no one acknowledged me. Even so, I wanted to continue matchmaking, because I'm Cupid. My instincts and myself as a human being were in internal conflict with one another. The desire to continue trying hard, but I found out that putting in effort doesn't mean it will be rewarded. No matter how much I care about the customers, not everyone will trust me. That's what pains me the most. But Mr. Snail affirmed my existence. He told me not to change. Why is he always able to tell me what I want to hear most?
今は思い切り泣け。私がそばにいる。
Oh, he's so good, isn't he? President, I have to hurry up and stop crying. Otherwise I can't move forward. Mr. Snail has work to do, and I'm getting in his way. But right now, I made an excuse and clung on to him. He's the kind of person that answers emails while eating. But right now, he's by my side. Shelby, why are you so kind to me? Because we're cooperating? Because we're accomplices? Because I'm your employee? Or... My heart is overflowing with emotion as I continue to cry. Throughout that, he continues to pat me on the head. Aww. Head pats. Aww. A few minutes later, I'd used up a ton of tissues. I'm sorry for making a scene. Thank you so much.
いや、大丈夫だ。
Mr. Snail smiles and returns to his work desk. He then opened his computer. Yeah, no, it's not confession time. Clearly, I mean, let's just go look at the flowchart. Let's go look at the flowchart. We are here. Happy end is all the way over here. It's too soon.
それでは元の企画書を見ながら新プランについて再考しよう。
That's true. That can be a confession and still keep going. This is true. Thank you, but are you sure? How are you doing on time?
これも仕事のうちだろ。それにロミジュリーウェディングには前から迷惑をかけられている。憶測なく疑いたくはなかったが証拠が出た。調査の結果、私が愛妻家なのは嘘だという記事は
Yeah.
ロミジュリーウェディングが出していると分かった。
You finally found where the articles came from. Good job. Really?
ああ、残念ながら同業他社の仕業だった。我が社を潰したいと思っているのかもしれない。まさしく出る杭は打たれるというやつだ。
Might be trying to put us out of business. I don't think there's a might about that.
私の家を探っている相手については未だにわからないが、同じである可能性も高いだろう。だから今回盗作された件は残念だが、これもあちらの計画通りだ。産業スパイが潜んでいるのかもしれない。
See? Industrial espionage. I told you. Huh?
産業スパイじゃないといいんですけど。
Yeah, that silhouette's Owen. Yep. I memorized the details earlier and it hasn't been too long that I forgot them. That silhouette is definitely Owen's. I thought of Owen's mumblings and my heart jumped, but Peter is a good person and I don't want to doubt him. I didn't want to doubt Owen either, but here I am! But if he was, he can freely enter and leave Mr. Snail's office. He could steal anything if he wanted to.
とにかく今回の件はお前のせいではない。むしろ先方の動きを止められなかった私にも責任がある。だから一緒に打開策を考える。いいな。
Yes, thank you very much. That's right. My role isn't to find the culprit. It's more important to remake this project.
食材はもう発注したと言っていたな。先日食べた料理に使われたもので合っているか。
It could equally be someone who's pretending to be Owen and the real Owen is somewhere else. We are dealing with gods after all, they probably have those abilities, but... Yes, so we can't change the cooking part.
なるほどな。だがそれさえ変えなければ別の料理でも構わないということだ。先日の食材で他にできそうなことは。
Making a different dish, huh? Let me check the memos I wrote when I built the project. I take out my phone from my pocket looking for ideas that I'd previously thought of. Cat, dog, bird, reading, movies, desserts, cooking. There was a list of popular hashtags from Instagram. I wonder if I can combine them. Yeah, maybe we'll make desserts instead. Cooking and animals. No, it's unsanitary and they could eat it. That's the worst combination. Cooking and desserts. This is weak, it's just dessert making. There's also cooking and reading? Oh, how about recreating dishes from stories? I mumble that and notice Mr. Snail looking up.
それはロマンチックでいいな。
Yeah, you could like recreate meals from like romance movies or something. Really?
なあ、今ある食材を活かせる形で料理を調べてみよ
う。Mr. Snail searches on his computer for books and cooking. There were lots of articles about famous fairy tales or picture books that recreated food from it. Wow, that looks delicious! Gratin, sponge cakes, stews. There are picture book illustrations that make me feel excited. This is nice! If they see a picture of the pair with the dish, they might feel nostalgic and possibly join in the campaign. Okay, we're going with food from children's books, okay.
確かにいいかもしれないな。我が社のプランに足りなかったのは内向的な方に向けたサービスだ。今回の難易度星5もそこが評価されていたはずだ。 読書ならば根本的なコンセプトは変わらない。それにこの絵本を制作しているのはちょうどうちも世話になっている結婚雑誌を出している出版社と同じだ。
Yeah, so we can ask the picture book person about cooperating with us and making pictures for flyers.
この絵をそのまま使えれば強い。どうだ、この絵本の料理再現で食材は全てカバーできそうか。
So we're in for one particular book. Okay. There's shrimp, bay leaves, apples. Yes, I think it'll work. There are some ingredients here that are off, but we can use that as part of the side menu for what's not in the book.
ならひとまずはこの線で進めるとしようか。デザインはやり直しになるが。
As for that, I'll go and send another request to the designer.
そうか。では時間もあまりないからな。すぐ許可取りするよう広報部に回しておこう。
After saying that, Mr. Snail picks up the phone for the internal line to contact PR.
これでよし。許可取りがうまくいくようひとまず祈ろう。ダメだった時のためにもいくつか案を出しておくか。
Yes! From then on, I drafted more points of discussion. Plans for cooking that will look good on Instagram, plans of eating these dishes while watching a movie. I called the culinary researcher and explained the situation and the change in plans. An hour and a half later, I received a call from PR that we got approval for the project. That we got the approval from the publisher.
ではひとまずこの形で進めよう。企画部や各所への連絡はお前の方でできるな。
I'll be right back. I need another drink. I'm back. Let's move along then. Yes, of course. I was bawling just earlier, but I already feel much better. My eyes could still be a little swollen, but it should have resolved itself with time.
いい功績だな。では健闘を祈る。
Yes, thank you, President. And now, if you'll excuse me. I bow and was about to leave Mr. Snail's office. I then noticed a crumpled up pad of paper in the corner of the room. A crumpled up wad of paper in the corner of the room. President, that area is really cluttered, but did something happen?
ああ、 それはシュレッダーにかける用の書類入れだな。普段はオーウェンがいっぱいになる前にかけてくれるんだが。
Owen hasn't been doing his job? Suspicious.
相変わらずプライベートが忙しいようだからな。シュレッダーをかける暇がなかったのだろう。
What about pizza?
それがオーウェンに彼は使えないと言われてな。辞めることになった。
Wait, Peter's resigning? Because Owen says he's not good enough? What? Really? I thought he said he was really good the other day. I'll shred it for you in his place then. It's dangerous to have so much paper on the floor.
いいのか?
Yes, it'll be quick. The papers to be shredded are overflowing, so there could be a chance that some important documents could get mixed in with it. It's better to put it through the shredder regularly to prevent accidents. That's what I learned when I first joined the company. I crouched down to pick up the documents. After crying and feeling better, I suddenly felt the urge to be playful and read through them. Oh, what are we going to find? I'm curious what kind of documents Mr. Snail looks at. There could be some useful hints to revamp the plan. That's the hope, anyway. Normally, I shouldn't be doing this, but at the same time, there might not be another chance to do so. Maybe there were some rejected plans in there? I'm gonna save. I'm gonna save. We should just shred them, right? Right? But what if there's documents in here that shouldn't be shredded? Yeah, we should probably check to make sure there's nothing important that we're shredding, right? Or evidence. Maybe there's evidence. In the end, I am curious. I see. After all, it's voting for checking the documents. Now all it's voting for shredding all the things. I'm leaning towards looking at them. Yeah, either we shred important stuff, or yeah. Read first. I mean, obviously we're gonna shred them afterwards, because we told him we're gonna shred them. Shred first. You can't read it after you've shredded it. That's the whole point of shredding things. Okay, let's look through the documents. Curiosity got the better of me, so I unfolded a piece of paper. There was mysterious writing scribbled all over it. Evidence? What is this writing? Hey, these are ancient mythological glyphs. Why would they be here? The glyphs were used in ancient times by the gods. No one in Celestia used them anymore, and I can't read them either. What could it be? Now I'm really interested. Why would Mr. Snail's office have something like this? Is there a god nearby? No. I've heard in mythologies that in ancient times the gods communicated with humans using this. It's not odd for humans to use it. The problem is whether there's someone here who can actually use it. President, aside from Owen and Peter, has anyone else been entering or leaving your office?
ああ、そういえば最近ラウル・アコニットが来たな。社長役をやるから観察したいと言われた。
Of course, to muddy the waters further, Raoul has been here. You see, so it's Raoul. Raoul is a mythology enthusiast. He could have jotted the ancient glyphs on a memo. But this memo could belong to Raoul. It was outside of the trash can for the shredder, so he could have just forgotten it here. After thinking about it, I decided to confirm with him before putting it in the shredder. Yes! Yes! Let's get Raoul to decipher the ancient glyphs. We read now, and we found nothing suspicious. Something written in an ancient tongue. But... Of course it's not yours, Raoul, but we want you to read it. Tell me what it says. Huh? This isn't mine. Yeah, sorry, that was Raoul, we already did that. I contacted Raoul by message and had him come over. When I showed it to him, he shook his head. Huh? It's not?
俺まだ書けるほど解読できてないし。へえ。でも古代神話文字書ける人がいるんだ。
So you can't write it,
ちょっと見せてもら
but
ってい
can
い？
you read it? Raoul starts reading the glyphs with a very serious look.
神々の宝？もう一度連れ戻す。ああ、わかった。これは神々の宝の位置を指し示しているんだよ。
Treasure of the gods, huh? What?
これはがぜん興味が出てきたよ。よくこれを俺に見せてくれたね。恩に着るよ。
Glad you're happy, Raoul, but what am I supposed to do with this?
これはとんでもない発見かもしれない。きっと神が俺たちに宝を授けるためにこの紙を置いていったんだ。
I mean, is Cupid the treasure that we're talking about? Yeah. That's what I thought, Nick. I don't think that's the case.
でも社長室に置かれていて君はつい気になってこれを取ったんでしょ？ならきっとそうだ。これは神の導きだよ。
The gods have guided us together here. Yeah, Raoul. Sure. We're not on your route, I'm sorry.
古代神話文字については確か国立図書館に関連する古文書が置かれていたはずだ。次の休みに一緒に行こうよ。
Oh, he only translated the words that he could, so we're going... Yes, let's go to the library. Sure, I don't mind. I guess it wouldn't be bad to just research it. I'm bothered by why there's a memo in it with ancient glyphs at Mr. Snail's office. Could be a hidden problem that needs solving. I hope you shredded all the other stuff first. Cupid Treasure Hunter. Ooh. And this started the ancient mythological glyphs investigation with Aconite. At first I only looked into because I see, it should be it there. At first I only looked into it because I was interested. But the more I looked into mythologies with him, the more I got into it. This might be the bad end! Maybe. Wait, should we look at the flowchart? Yep! This is the bad end! In which we get distracted and spend all our time with Raoul. By the time I realised it, I was more focused on deciphering the glyphs. The art of the glyphs are a deep subject. They look similar but have different meanings. My heart is struck thinking about their motifs. This was my first hobby outside of matchmaking. I feel like it's a search for my own roots. My desire for knowledge is piqued. Nice is the obsessed Parasite. When I'm with him, I start to understand why humans grew these obsessions. This feels like a little bit of insight into what Raoul's route would be like, right? I don't care about prestige or work anymore. The world has lots of fun stuff like this. We got distracted!
それでお前はここのところずっと仕事がおろそかになっていたのか。
It wasn't my intention to be slacking off. It's just that my priorities have changed.
企画の練り直しの方はどうなった？
Oh, I left that to a colleague in the planning department. I know she'll do it right. I've suddenly found this new obsession. Would you like to join in the exploration of the island of Crete? We're going to Crete. Please look at this. According to these documents, this memo is about a holy sword found deep in a cave on the island of Crete.
私には仕事がある。趣味に夢中になって仕事をおろそかにするような真似はしない。地位が大切だから。
Aw, you're such a square. It'll be fun if you have a hobby or two.
私には必要ない。行くならお前たちだけで行け。
Yeah, she's not going on her own, she's going with Raoul. And he's here! To pick me up! The doorbell of my home rang. Aconite was here to pick me up.
ミラーさん、一緒に宝を探しに行くよ。
Sure, coming! I took the suitcase I prepared and wore my treasure hunting hat as I waved to the president. Well, I've already applied for paid time off, so I'm off.
行ってしまったか。彼女なら私と共に仕事に打ち込んでくれると思っていたんだがな。人間、何かに夢中になるとダメだな。私も仕事に夢中になっているからダメなのか。皆の目には私も彼女も同じように映っているのだろう。
Where's the text for that line he just said?
さてと、仕事に戻るか。この地位を守れないような男に価値はない。仕事以外の時間など、1秒でさえも惜しいからな。
Snail's just going to devolve back into the work state, huh? And this is how my path split from the president. To be blunt, our ratio of work-life balance is too different. He wants prestige in work, I want hobbies in my private life. Humans are creatures with individual senses of values. They may walk the same paths at some point, but there will always be a fork in the road. But I have no regrets. You only live once. It's better that you just enjoy it. It's fine to work hard to show up Dad, but now that I found a hobby to obsess over, I can't stop. I'm heading to Greece, deep into a cave on the island of Crete. I'm going there to obtain a holy sword. Finn. I wonder if she ever found it. Well, I'm sure they'd find some other treasures to go chasing after if they didn't, right?
ああ、構わない。どの瞬間でも私は。
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so let's try that again. Just throw it all in the shredder. Wait, I shouldn't be looking at Mr. Snail's documents. I held back my curiosity and desire for mischief, and just threw the documents in the shredder. We reached the true ending. Jetting off with Raoul to distant locations. Yeah, no, well, you were right. Shred first, ask questions later. I'll excuse myself now.
あ、お前は今日何時までだ？
I'm on the late shift today, so until 11 p.m. Oof. Wait till 11 p.m. Yikes.
そうか。ちょうど私も23時頃に帰ろうと思っていたところだ。車のところで待ち合わせよう。
It's so odd. Usually that's the worst thing you can do. But in this case, it looks like there was a trap laid for us. Snail's like, let's go home together. 9 to 5-ish. Don't know about 5. Thank you. He knows that my commute is longer from the company now, so he says he will drive me when he has time. I think he's going to start making that time a lot. But I'm sure he's doing it today out of kindness for me. I was so depressed earlier. His subtle acts of consideration makes my heart feel warm. I bow again and left Mr. Snail's office. Shelby is resolved. Ooh, what's he resolving? The days after that passed by quickly. I reworked the new product and switched all of the necessary data. We worked towards the announcement date. Even so, Mr. Snail and I still promised to eat dinner together once a week, no matter what. This was so that we won't forget that we are currently still living as husband and wife. And then, the new plan, Cooking Matchmaking Picture Book Cuisine, has finished the recruiting period and the date of the event has arrived. Thank you for your applications. I am the top bridal advisor, Lynette Mirror. Cooking Matchmaking Picture Book Cuisine is based off the picture book food and in the famous Cooking with Kellyu and Three Snakes. We've received the support of the publisher and the picture books are on display by the window. In the next room, we will also have another picture book exhibit. I hope you will go and view it after cooking.
懐かしい。私あの絵本好きだったんだよね。特に蝶々が出てワンピースが青色になるところが。
本当？俺も好き。
本当？わあ、嬉しい。あの本読んだことある人なかなかいなくて、話せる人いたらいいなって思ってたの。
Look, it's working already! The participants spoke excitedly about the picture books and seemed to hit us off. Thank goodness, we're off to a good start. I felt relieved as I looked around. I wanted to scan the crowd for non-participants. There's 3 people that aren't joined in the conversation. I have to support them when it's their turn to do the cooking. That's my mission as the bridal advisor. These people are here because they made the choice to, after all. We're cooking alongside Three Snakes. Everyone, your attention please. The culinary expert is here. Reacting to my voice, the culinary researcher arrived. That marked the beginning of the Cooking Matchmaking Picture Book Cuisine event. Phew, it's finally over. I returned to the office at night and hunched over my desk. Fortunately, the Cooking Matchmaking Picture Book Cuisine event ended with great success. The event was limited to only current Cupid Corp members, but we might be able to start providing it to others as a special service. If they like it, it could increase the Cupid Corp membership. That would allow me to matchmake even more people. I've had a few couples who have later said in the interview that they would like to start dating. I've told the managing advisors, so the couples who were matched will have their statuses changed to dating. The couples will continue dating for a period of time. If they're compatible, it may lead to marriage. I was happy that I was part of this process.
お疲れ。大変だったわね。
Clarice. Hi. A mug was placed in front of me. Clarice brought me some coffee. Clarice, I think I'll manage. I get up and drink the coffee Clarice got me. I breathed a sigh of relief.
それで大盛況だったって聞いたわよ。しかも満員だったんだって。よかったじゃない。
Yeah, thanks, Clarice. Seeing my friend's face made me realise that I completed my job. That sense of accomplishment fills my heart. This was the first time I built and ran a new plan from start to finish. I really did it. It's too bad that the original plan was taken by Rome and Julie wedding, though. I really wanted to do that one too. That was the one regret I had. While thinking that, I sensed someone approaching us.
なかなか頑張ったじゃない。見直したわ。
Ooh. Is that a compliment? Oh. It's the colleague from the planning department that's always antagonizing me. But Clarice stood between us.
今さら何言いに来たの？
Clarice glares at her with arms crossed. The colleague from the planning department made an awkward expression and glanced towards me.
一応謝りに来たのよ。
Yes!
私、彼女にひどいことばっか言ったから。本当にごめんなさい。
She apologized! Huh? She apologized to me. My eyes opened wide in surprise, and she bowed to me.
罵倒したこと、反省しているの。今回のことがあってよくわかった。あなた、本当に努力してたのね。それに、ロミジュリウェディングを調べてわかった。うちの企画がうまくいってるのは、あなたたち、アドバイザーが頑張ってるからだって。
Yeah, how did Rome and Julie wedding manage with the stolen plans, huh?
うちと同じプランをやってるのに、ロミジュリウェディングの方は全然うまくいってないの。企画の良し悪しじゃないのよ。
Haha, I'm glad they're doing terribly.
企画の仕事に誇りを持ってやってるから、ちょっとムカついたけど。でも、私が一番大人げなかったわ。私、あなたに負けないように仕事頑張る。あの時は、ごめんなさい。
She bows to me one more time. I realized that I was still sitting down. I frantically stood up. It's all right. Thank you for always putting together some wonderful plans. A lot of the customers do love it, so it's always helpful. I hope to continue having the products from the planning department to help guide our customers to marriage. I hold out my hand to shake hers, but then I heard a giant sigh next to me. Clarice didn't want me to immediately forgive her, huh?
ほんとあなたってお人よしね。まあそういう根に持たないところが好きなんだけど。これでこの子のことが分かったでしょ。妬んでるより一緒に頑張った方がずっと建設的よ。そうみたいね。なんだか自己嫌悪に陥りそう。まあ自分のことばっかり考えてちゃダメだってよくわかったわ。会社を守るためには一緒に頑張らなきゃね。
She smiles and shakes my hand.
これからもよろしくね。
Yes, let's join together. She finally acknowledged me. My heart was filled with warm and fuzzy feelings. not working just to be recognized, but when it does happen, I can get so happy.
じゃあ私はもう行くから。
She said that with a hint of bashfulness before leaving. After seeing her off, Clarice smiled.
じゃあ私も仕事に戻るわ。お疲れリネット。
Scary. Yeah, thanks for the coffee, Clarice. Clarice waves at me and then walks off like a model. After seeing both of them off, I felt glad that I can finally get along with my colleague from the planning department. Until now, I was focused only on doing my own thing. But having connections with others is also important. That is what I have learned as a human. This is something I never would have known as a god. Gods all think they can do everything on their own. Dad was the epitome of that. Speaking of which, I wonder how Dad is doing. A terrible job of trying to run his own marriage thing. Despite how he completely rejected what I wanted to do, there's no sign of him finding me. But that's a little worrying. Auntie messaged me saying that Dad wasn't in Celestia recently. Mail from Lady Minerva. I haven't seen Mars around Celestia lately. Do you know where that might be? But if Dad was here, I would know immediately. He doesn't look human at all. If Dad finds me, he would forcefully drag me back to Celestia. As of now, there's no sign of that. Oh well, anyway, I should just... Oh, yeah, the new project! It finally ended! I'm now enjoying the feelings of accomplishment that I achieved for the first time. A few of the members I manage say that they found someone nice there too. If this goes well, I could guide them to marriage. From your first encounter to your final vows. That is the mission statement of Cupid Corp. You think Peter might be Mars? It's a chance, but I don't think it is. I don't think so. Alright, let's do this. I chug the coffee and turn to my computer. I then hear a familiar sound.
Chi! Chi!
Chi! Chi! Yeah, I still think Peter is Chi. What colour eyes did Peter have again? Now that we're finally seeing Chi again. Oh, Chi! I haven't seen you in a while. It really has been a while since I last saw Chi. I thought he returned to Celestia while I lived with Mr. Snail, but he was still in the human realm. I missed you, Chi. I pet Chi's fluffy body and he fidgets around like he always does. It does look like it would be nice to pet Chi. It's so fluffy. With all that fluff around the neck. I haven't done this in a while. Wait, what's that? There was something in Chi's mouth. It's a piece of paper, so I took it and opened it up. I was shocked at what I saw. It was a piece of a manuscript of an article about Mr. Snail. Yeah, I thought he had yellow eyes. There's lots of yellow in Chi's appearance, though. Sort of white and yellow. Which was also the colours of Peter, right? Sort of a white and yellow sort of aesthetic. I don't know. Shelby's wife finally revealed. That was the title on the article with a big photo. And the one shown there was me. face on? President, please excuse me. I ran into Mr. Snail's office. Luckily, he didn't have any guests over as he was alone facing his computer.
そんなに慌ててどうしたんだ。新プランの方はうまくいったんだろう。
Good luck trying to explain that to co-workers. I found this article. What should we do about this? I handed over the half-written article that she brought to me. What, it's only half-written? Upon seeing that, Mr. Snail's expression turned serious.
これは一体どこで手に入れた？
Well, about that. Yeah, I can't say my mythical creature pet brought it to me. Chi tries to gesture what he wants to say. He's flying around the shredder, so he could have found it there. It was from the trash can for the shredder.
つまり我が社の中に誰か裏切り者がいるということか。いや、とにかく今はこちらの方だな。
Yes, but how are we supposed to explain how we got this item from the trash can in his room? Definitely not mythical actual pet. Yes, my dog brought it to me.
うちとは付き合いのない出版社の記事か。以前も悪意ある私の記事を書いたところだ。あの時随分と抗議したものだな。またか。こちらの言い分など聞きはしないだろうし。
Mr. Snail looks at the article in front of him and thinks. He soon stands up and takes his jacket he had hung on the wall.
少し出てくる。
I just want to know at what point that picture was taken. Like, did someone take it as we were like going to Snail's car at the end of the day, maybe, or something else? Huh? What's he going to do?
これは私の方で対処する。だが約束する。絶対にお前には迷惑をかけないと。
She used quick attack. No, she has lightning abilities. She used thunder shock. Right? He had a calm gaze over me. Really wonder what he's thinking about. You! He's thinking about you! I can't tell what emotion he's feeling from his eyes, but I know that he wants to be considerate toward me about it. That's why it makes me worried. Shelby?
迷惑をかけてすまなかった。行ってくる。
I reach out to him, but I miss. He slips right by me as he leaves his office. I had no idea what Mr. Snail intends to do. Although I'm worried, I'm still within my work hours. I return to the office floor to resume my work. I hope Mr. Snail is alright. I'm still worried for him while I work. He's been gone for over an hour, but nothing seems to have happened yet. My shift is almost over. While I couldn't focus very much, I still summarised the concerns and plans for improvements. Mr. Snail said he would deal with it, but I was more worried about Mr. Snail doing something reckless than if the article went public. He probably went to the magazine company. I hope he's not starting any trouble. I should have insisted on going with him. I'm not his secretary, so that wouldn't have been possible. I kept thinking about that as I worked. Suddenly there was a murmur around the floor.
ちょっとこれ何？
I guess the article went public. Something must have happened. I stood up and saw Clarice running towards me with a serious expression.
リネット、大変！社長が緊急会見やってる。社長、
No!
奥さんいなかったんだって。
No, 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 this is not what we planned! Snail! Snail, what are you doing? What? I grabbed Clarice's phone. I grabbed Clarice's phone she was showing me to watch the news playing on the screen. It showed Mr. Snail in the middle of a press conference.
以上の理由から事実を公表できずにおりました。結果、多くの方を欺くことになり、誠に申し訳ございませんでした。
There was a big reason we weren't doing this! Because this would hurt the company! No!
ひどいじゃないですか。我々はずっと信じていたんですよ。嘘をついて両親が痛まなかったんですか？
There were better ways of dealing with this! We could have just got married! That's fine!
本当に申し訳なく思っております。ご批判は真摯に受け止め、誠心誠意を持って謝罪していく所存です。私が愛妻家であることを信じ、そこに安心感を覚えて我が社を選んでくれた会員の皆様には深く謝罪をいたします。
では、会員の方への安心感を優先させて公表を控えていたということでしょうか？
Yes.
はい。
嘘をついてまで安心感を出したいと思っていたんですか？
はい。多くの方に安心して婚活に集中してもらいたいと思い、公表を控えておりました。ですが、欺き続けることは誠意のないことです。ですので今回、私の独断で公表することを決めました。
今更になって公表された理由は何かおありなのでしょうか？
私が秘密裏に婚活を始めた際、一生懸命対応してくれたスタッフがいたからです。私が未婚であることを公表してはいけないと、とても懸命に私の婚活をサポートしてくれました。そんなスタッフの心遣いに何度も救われました。
You could declare your feelings on national TV!
ですが、
local TV,
真摯に対応するそのスタッフを見て、これ以上嘘を重ねてはいけないと思いました。我が社のスタッフを思えば公表すべきではない、そう考えたこともありましたが、それでは会員の皆様を裏切り続けることになる。本来であれば誤解が生じた際にすぐに否定をすべきでした。これはすべてそれをできなかった私の心の弱さが招いた事態です。
I don't think we need to look at the flowchart. We know that we're not down the bad branch now.
すべて私の責任です。誠に申し
Oh,
訳
you
ご
mean
ざ
he
いませ
couldn't
んでした。
declare his feelings for right now? Yeah, okay. Oh no! If we're not pretending to be his wife, we can't be living with him anymore. No! watched the president on the news bowing deeply. I was dumbfounded at the sight of him. What should I do? This is my fault. It's because they took that photo of me. He decided to do this to stop that article from publicizing. Clarice, what should I do? There's going to be a lot of people contacting us about this. It'll be all over the internet too.
って私も思ってたんだけれど、意外とみんな冷静ね。
Oh? Huh? Snail, does this mean Snail indirectly broke up with you? No! My bonus money! Clarice points to the customer support section on the same floor. Everyone was calmly dealing with the calls. It's true that the calls are coming in non-stop, but everyone was dealing with it calmly. From the answers that I'm hearing, it seems that it was all prepared beforehand.
あの様子だと、あの課の人たちにはすでに聞かされてたみたいね。
Oh good, he at least talked to PR or customer service before he did this. Good.
ウェブ班も落ち着いてるわね。ネットは多分炎上してると思うけど。
It's true that the people around us are dealing with the matter on the phones and email calmly. It seems that the only ones that weren't told about it were the people revolving around PR like us. Oh, okay, he talked to everyone except PR.
まあ、ちゃんと対応した上で発表すると決めたならいいんじゃない？
How did he prepare all of this in such a short time? Well, I guess he had everything prepared in advance to do this if necessary, right? Could it be that he'd been preparing to announce it for a while? He was just holding back on the timing. It must have been the one last push that made him do it. Almost like he didn't want to tell Lynette because she tried to stop him. Right? We would have done! Is this the PR bloke? I seem to remember his name. I heard shouting that brought me to my senses. The PR bloke is shouting at Owen, huh?
ですが、私もこの話は聞かされていなくて。
Owen is as shocked as we are.
そんなわけないでしょ。せっかく私がここまでこの会社が有名になるよう愛妻家として売ってきたのに。今までの努力が全部水の泡ですよ。責任取ってくれるんでしょうね。
Hey, don't have it out with us. Nailed it, did it? Duff. Anthony Duff of the advertising agency. He took advantage of a live broadcast and advertised Mr. Snail as a devoted husband. He's Mr. Snail's upperclassman from college. He's with the advertising the advertising agency that the company uses. He was the one who told Mr. Snail to lie. There are things I don't agree with, but now is not the time to be fighting. Mr. Duff, excuse me, I'm sorry, but we really were not told of the current issue. We're as surprised as you are for the press conference. We'll contact Mr. Snail as soon as he returns, so for today, please leave. I tried to tacitly tell him that. Duff glared at me with a look of irritation, but he realized that it was useless to keep talking to Owen.
わかりました。また明日改めて来ますので、スネイル君にはちゃんと説明してもらいますからね。
Duff then glared at Owen and left.
すみません。ありがとうございました。
It's alright, but you really weren't told about it?
はい。ちょうど出ていたので。
I was out at the time! Yeah! Yeah, you've been doing a lot of that lately, Owen. Owen then frowned and put his head between his hands. Are you alright?
はい。
最近寝不足でちょっと頭痛がしただけです。
Lacking sleep and having headaches. Maybe this is a side effect from all that interaction with gods he's having.
これは怒られるな。では私は用があるので失礼いたします。
Yeah, he's going to get yelled. He's going to get yelled at. Yeah, I'm pretty. It's looking a lot more like Owen as the traitor, huh? I was about to ask by who, but Owen had this glassy look in his eyes as he walked away. Maybe he's being mind controlled. Maybe he's being mind controlled. His footsteps appeared unstable. Owen must really be shocked at the press conference. Anyone would be shocked if they saw that all of a sudden. I felt like I was being crushed under the weight of my worries as I looked towards the section still dealing with customers. There's nothing I can do here. I still racked my brain to think about what I can do. I'm home. In the end, there was nothing I could do. I quietly left when my shift was over. But there was no one at home. Mr. Snail still was not back yet. After that press conference, I'm sure he's dealing with stuff relating to that. Shelby? I call out his name just to be sure and looks around the house. He's not here. Where could he have gone? I thought about the press conference in the evening and it made me worried. Hey, maybe he's gone out to drink at a bar. Yeah, he told us he did that, right? Let me try to call him. Right at that time, my phone rang, but it wasn't from Mr. Snail. It was from Owen. Hello, this is Mira.
すみません。社長がどこへ行ったか知りませんか?
He's also lost track of Mr. Snail. Huh? Did something happen?
それが実はあの会見の後から社長と連絡が取れないんです。
And then, Owen and I decided to split up and look for Mr. Snail all around Lost York. That's a lot of ground to cover. He's not here either. Not here either. Owen is looking through all the floors of the office. I'm going around town where Mr. Snail might be as I headed toward the office. That appears to be a statue of Hermes. Or wait, we're doing Roman. Mercury. Because he's got the little winged hat and the what is it the rod of Asclepius? Something like that, right? And the winged boots. Yeah, I can see wings on the boots. I don't even know much about him. Where would he want to go alone? To a bar! He told you he goes drinking alone at bars! The more I thought, the more I realised I know nothing. We've lived together for so long. We were nothing but a fake couple after all. Fake marriage. We lived together, but we're still strangers. Even though the life there was fun, it was nothing more than a business relationship. But Mr. Snail, Shelby was by my side when I needed someone. When I couldn't cry by myself, he created a place where I could cry. I thought I shouldn't cry, but he told me I should. He affirmed for me what others had denied. That's why I wanted to go to his side. He could be suffering all alone right now. I want to tell him that it's not his fault. It may be empty words, but I still want to be by his side. Shelby, please tell me. Where could you be? Ah, she's going to remember about the bar.
大抵バーでだ。家では飲まない。
I remembered those words he said in a conversation. That's right, he said he drinks at a bar when he wants to relax alone. I researched the bars of Los York and started looking through them. Yeah, I guess you can sort of start where the office is and work your way gradually out through bars, right? I managed to find Shelby drinking alone at a certain bar. Ah, loneliness. Aww. Shelby! I contacted Owen, telling him I found him, and ran to Mr. Snail at the counter. When I approached him, I could tell he'd been drinking for a while. He smelled of alcohol and was in a state I'd never seen before. I've been looking all over for you, Shelby. Are you all right? I sat next to him and ordered a drink as I peered into his face. He finally looked up after a while. He seemed drunk as his gaze was slow, but for some reason he smiled.
こんなところに来てどうしたんだ?
He shakes his glass and laughs in a troubled way as if it were nothing. He's putting on a facade. I could tell that, so I placed my hand over his. Did that to share my warmth with him. I'm the only one here. You don't have to force yourself to smile. But he's smiling because you are here. His gaze wavered. Mr. Snail looked down at his glass with whiskey in it and laughed timidly. He only said that as he takes another sip of alcohol. The drink I ordered arrived then, so I took that in hand. I did previously offer to drink with you if you wanted someone to keep you company.
そうだったな。
We clinked our glasses lightly and started drinking together. We drank in silence for a little while before Mr. Snail started to mumble.
会見を見たのか?
Yes, I saw it at the office with everyone.
そうか。今日のはさすがに答えたな。
He whispered that very, very softly. Mr. Snail then placed his hand on mine as if to ask for help. In times like this, anyone would desire human warmth. That's why I quietly held his hand back.
お前に相談せずに公表してすまなかった。だが、一刻を争う事態だったからな。
Once again, I see no issue with that photo going public, Snail.
独身だと伝える必要があった。私の会見であの記事自体の価値がなくなった。奴らの目論見を未然に防ぐことができたんだ。代わりに会見のことが記事になるだろうがな。
I'm sorry. It's because I let them take a photo of me.
いや、あれはきっかけに過ぎない。もとよりいつか公開しようと準備は進めていたんだ。
You did have this prepared for a while, huh?
むしろ私の方こそすまなかった。お前にあれだけ協力してもらったのに。
Mr. Snail sounds so weak. It's much different from his usual self. Quick save! Right. One of these is gonna get us some points. Right, it's a little unfortunate. It's alright, I had a lot of fun, or we'll have to redo the contract. Redo the contract. Redo the contract as an actual marriage document this time. Which one do I choose, game? Right, it's a little unfortunate. It's alright, I had a lot of fun. Or we'll have to redo the contract. I kind of want to go with we'll have to redo the contract. That might make him smile. Let's try that. Let's try that. We'll have to redo the contract. I say that jokingly. I wanted to get Mr. Snail to laugh, but...
ああ、そうだな。帰ったら取り掛かろう。
Oh, it didn't work! He responds weakly, making me regret my choice of words. He's not getting the joke. Okay, right, let's go back. Quick load! Yeah, it probably is going to be... We had a lot of fun. No, I'll be alright. It may be strange for me to say this, but I had a lot of fun playing the role as your wife.
本当か?
Yes. I replied with energy, and Mr. Snail smiled slightly at me. I hear the ice in his glass circling about. He takes another sip of whiskey and faces forward again, looking far out into the distance.
そうか。私も楽しかった。
Aww. Yay! Hats.
妻がいる生活はこんなものなのかと知れて、お前の考えを知るのが楽しかった。お前と共にいて、一つのことと戦って、一人でないことはこんなに心強いのかと思った。お前がそばにいてくれたから決心がついたんだ。すべてを話すことを。
So you gained strength from this. That's good.
嘘などに頼って私は上を目指したくなどない。そんなものに頼っていてはいつまでも一人前になれない。だから今回の件を私は後悔はしていない。大丈夫だ。
He says he's fine, but he doesn't sound it. He's putting on a front again. Because I knew that, I gripped Mr. Snail's hand tightly. Shelby, you told me the other day, it's better to cry than hold it in. You told me I can cry because you're by my side. I was saved by those words. It's my turn to help you. While still sitting at the counter, I turned to Mr. Snail. I opened my arms to urge him to come to me. Yes, come get your hugs, Mr. Snail. I'll lend you my shoulder or my arms. We fought together all this time. Please don't put on a facade in front of me. It's okay to cry. Please show me more of your emotions.
リネット。
Mr. Snail's gaze wavers.
そうだな。
He closes his eyes and takes a few deep breaths. After a while, he looks towards me while still filled with sadness. Yeah, at least he got to clear his conscience and stop the lie, right? Yeah, after all, I guess you're not good at choices for Otome games, huh?
じゃあお前の肩を借りていいか。少し寄りかかりたい。
That's fine. Not at all. I nod and Mr. Snail puts his head on my shoulder. CG? Yes! The warmth on my shoulder makes my heart jump. But I felt happier that he was relying on me. I patted him on the shoulder. No, pat him on the head! Head pats for Snail! Look at those two. He gave me a place where I could cry. This time, I want to be the person he can rely on.
なあ、リネット。私は間違っていないか。ずっと地位を守ることだけを考えて生きてきた。だが、人としての道を外してまで地位を守りたいとは思えなかった。だが、それで人に見放されるのが怖い。地位のない私になど誰も興味を持たないのではないかと。
I've never heard him speak with such a weak tone before. He'd never leaned on anyone before, but now he's doing that in front of me. Prestige Parasite, Shelby Snail. He's a parasite on status, making me realize how big of a decision it was this time. Despite that, he still chose to announce it. This is probably to protect me. I wrap my arms behind him to embrace his head. That's not true. Even without your prestige, at the very least, I still want to be of help to you, Shelby. I know that you're always sincere and earnest towards work. That makes me want to help you.
そうなのか?
Yes, even if it's for the company. Had it not been you, I wouldn't have accepted the offer. I knew that you wouldn't do something I hated, and that we can do this for the company. That made me willing to cooperate. You did this not just for prestige, but for the employees. I could believe that you cared deeply for us. That's why I believed in you. Mr. Snail's throat seemed to quiver. The weight he placed on my shoulder became heavier. President, you've misunderstood one thing. You may not have noticed, but there are many people who respect your whole being. During the incident with the stolen product idea, everyone was moved by your words. That wouldn't be possible unless they trusted you. With the press conference, some were surprised, but no one complained. Everyone was working hard to protect the company. I feel the same way. You always did what was just. That is why all of the employees wanted to be of help to you. We're not after your prestige. Please believe in us. It was a whisper that came from deep within. Even now, he is holding back tears. Because I knew that, I caressed his hair. You won't cry for me?
男が女の前で泣けるか?
Nah, it's fine. You should cry. I don't get this whole guys shouldn't cry. Now everyone needs to cry sometimes. I wouldn't mind.
私が気にするんだ.
He's so stubborn. He's protected his status all alone, though he may have forgotten how to cry in front of people. I hope that he'll cry in front of me someday. I continued to caress his hair while thinking that. I heard a message arrive on Mr. Snail's phone that was on the counter. I look at his phone and see the first line of the message on the lock screen. I couldn't help but smile. I patted Mr. Snail on the back after that. Shelby, take a look. You have an email from everyone.
メール
He sluggishly looks up at me. I held his phone in front of his face. On the lock screen, there were many words of encouragement. They were all from the company presidents I'd met before. See, everyone is worried about you. They're thanking you for being honest about it. He takes the phone and opens the messages. His mailbox is filled with many other emails. Thank you for telling us. I'm sorry for cornering you like that. I hope to continue our business relationships. Messages of those kinds were overflowing from his mailbox. It seems that he'd sent the details of the press conference to the other presidents beforehand. It's just like Mr. Snail to be so dutiful about it. That's probably why everyone was willing to help him. It's all thanks to your good character, President. He closed his lips tightly and tries to hold back tears again. Mr. Snail looks through his phone screen while drinking down the rest of his whiskey. Aww. Aww. And since that's the end of that scene, and looking at the time, that seems like a good place to end on that very emotional note. So, thank you very much for coming. It's been fun. If you're new here and you've enjoyed your time, please consider subscribing to the channel. You can also follow me on Twitter, which is where the stream schedule for the week is posted. It's in my pinned tweet. The next scheduled stream is on Wednesday at 7 PM BST, and that is going to be some more Pokemon Legends Arceus. We've still got some plates to gather and a whole lot of requests to deal with. So, hope to see you then or another time. Once again, thanks for coming. And this is Kalla signing out. See ya. Bye bye.